Hey everyone, welcome to the video. My name is Nick Eilerman, owner of Odyssey Custom Vans, and I'm getting ready to do a van tour of John and Susan's custom adventure van build, and I can't wait to show it to you. All right, what we have here is a 2021 Ford Transit all-wheel drive high roof, and it's the 148-inch wheelbase. The chassis of this van, it's very heavy duty, so it's a 350 chassis. We're gonna go up front, do a tour of the front of the van. We'll come to the middle, check out the kitchen galley, and then we'll end with the power system. We're using the Ecoflow power system, and then we'll talk about the roof rack, the rooftop AC unit, which is a 48-volt AC unit, really cool, from Nomadic Cooling, and then a couple other features of the van. So let's go ahead and move over here to the front. So on this front, we just left everything stock. What's nice about a 2021 is you can get this blacked out grille and it comes standard. So if you want to change it, you can. They do make upgrades, as you guys may have seen in some other videos, where you can put a Raptor style grille, pops right in, so that's a cool, easy add-on. As we come inside the van, I got the keys right here because I want to show you guys some really cool features inside the van. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you guys come inside the van. Don't worry, we're going to do a tour of the kitchen here in a second, but I'm going to have you stand right here, and we're going to I'm going to hop in the driver's seat, and I'm going to talk to you about the Wolf Box, which is the rear view mirror, which has a built-in camera, the Dynavan, which is a really cool add-on, and then the Scopima swivel seats. They're not swiveled because I'm going to show you the jump seat as well. So a lot of cool stuff to cover. So stay right there. I'm going to walk around the van and get inside and show you the cool features. All right, so coming a little bit closer, we want to check out this and this. So I'm going to go ahead and start this up. And we have two components in here that they're just awesome. So if you guys remember in Marine One, the Thomas's van tour, he had a Wolf Box. We didn't talk too much about it, so this video I do want to talk about it because this is the second one I've installed, and I think it is incredible. So it's not a rear view mirror. It is a video screen that looks like a rear view mirror, and it straps to the back of a factory rear view mirror. We got 3 connections at the top, so it has power, rear view camera feed, and GPS. So the GPS gives you directions and all that good stuff. And then you got the time, but this thing is fantastic. So you can actually swipe, and when you go in reverse, actually here, I'll just show you where we can do reverse. So that is the rear view camera. So this one up here always is on. It's on the whole entire time. You can do a couple options. You can swipe. This is giving you another view of the front. So if my hand's here, you can see this is the front view while you're driving. It's always recording in the top. And then what you can do is you can swipe one more time, and then you can get a front view and a rear view, like a split view. So it's really cool. Now what's nice is if you're going to be installing this, you want to make sure that you have it ignition controlled, so that when I turn the key off, this has a delay and then it turns off. It does have an internal battery, so you're going to be able to do some different options where if you want it to come on at certain times or whatnot. But when the power is disconnected, it does have a backup feature, battery inside. Yeah, there's so many things in here. I'm not going to dive into it in this video, but the Wolf Box is something I think everybody should have in an adventure van. Having the ability to look in your rearview mirror or an emulated one, because your van, this van does not have rear windows, and the bed's so high you can't see over it. So this is just, again, great option. We'll move on down. This is a new component that I found. They wanted to take, we had a little tiny, I forgot what it's called, but it's the default Ford infotainment system. Sync. Yeah. So it had the Sync 3, but it had the it was like a 3.5 inch screen or something like that. It didn't really display any information. It was just an LCD screen. So we definitely wanted to update that. Believe it or not, this whole entire panel right here is a Dynavan upgrade. So you're going to get this whole entire piece of plastic, and this whole thing's going to be brand new. You'll retain the gauges and the vents, but that's pretty much it. Everything else comes into a kit. So it's Dynavan, D-Y-N-A-V-I-N, and this is the system. So I'm gonna turn the engine off, and then I'm just gonna show you how quickly this screen comes on. It's slow, so that's the wolf box just telling you that it's shutting off. The Dynavan, so watch how fast it starts up. The first time you install it, it's a little slow, because it does like a little, I don't know, startup sequence, but once you've had it started up one time, this is how fast it comes on. So it's almost instant. This is going to allow you to pair with your Apple CarPlay, for example. They use something called Z-Link. So when you touch Z-Link, that's going to connect it to your iPhone. There's a couple different screens on here. If we swipe over, you'll see something called camera. If we touch camera, we actually have we're not in reverse, but we now have a live rear view camera feed from the back. So that was a bonus. I actually didn't know that it came with that feature. But then you can just touch, you can go back, your home screen. Now watch, I'm gonna go into reverse. This also has to be wired in as well. When I do that, it's gonna give you the grids, and it's gonna give you the factory rear camera. So really cool system. The Google Play Store icon is where you're going to go in and get your GPS maps. So we're actually going to do that with John and Susan tomorrow, actually. But yeah, this is the system. Believe it or not, you can click apps. You've got YouTube. Obviously, you're going to have to have Wi-Fi. But it's a really cool system, and this screen, very high res. So check it out if you are wanting to have something that looks factory and you're wanting to upgrade your dash. So we're going to cut the car off. I hear that wolf box turn off one more time. Scopima swivel seats for the front. I really like them. They don't increase the height too much, and they're really robust. If you check out the channel, you'll also be able to see on a live stream when I install these, if you want to get a good idea of how to install these. There's a couple of quirks as far as having wires feed through for the heated or electrical seats if you have them, and the airbag sensors. So that's all available. All right, we're going to move through. We're going to have you go outside, and then we'll start talking about the inside. Yeah, so right here, this is the front of our kitchen galley. We got a couple of components here. The running board, we did upgraded running boards on the driver and the passenger. And we actually plumbed or did a bracket to hold the Webasto exhaust. This van isn't lifted, so that's just one thing you got to check on is any type of ground clearance. You just want to be aware if you install side steps, you may have to be a little bit careful. But the benefit is you get nice entry and exit out of your van. Coming on up, we have, I almost think this is kind of like a standard thing I'm going to be doing. I really like, ever since I did it on the other adventure van, I really like this bamboo backing for any type of kitchen galley. This galley I built, it's a one-off kitchen galley. Sometimes I use Flatline Vanco. but the backs are always bare, so you can see everything from the back. You need to cover it. The reason I like the bamboo, it's very dense, and when you're hooking up a lagoon table, some electrical outlets, it just gives you a nice structure to bolt stuff to, and I like it because you can see there's screws. I want this to be removable in case I need to work on the plumbing in the future, or if they need to work on anything. But if you're looking at this entry-level trim, this is from a company called AWD Rig. So I talk about that on the channel, and it's just a finishing step and trim that you can get for your flooring system. And they have paper templates so that you can cut your own plywood out if you want to, or they do sell floor kits as a one-hole unit. I like to get the paper templates because I do so much modification to the floor that I'm basically cutting up a whole brand new floor, so it's better to do paper templates and do your own install. That's my recommendation. But the step is great. I would always try to figure out how to install that. Yeah, so the step trim comes over there, goes inside the kitchen galley, and then comes out here. So you're going to have a little bit of a nook in here. Pretty much, it's just enough to maybe a pair of flip-flops or something like that. They have dogs, so this would be a good place to put dog leashes. We do have an outdoor outlet. This is a really nice solid metal outlet. It comes with 2 plugs and then 2 USB. The USB are powered via the inverters, so these won't be powered unless the inverter is on. There are other USB ports in the van that are always powered. However, these 2 outlets will be only if the inverter is turned on. But what's nice is this gives you a little bit of a delay if the rain starts coming in. It is water resistant. So if it starts pouring down rain, you got a couple minutes to come in here, close that. It does have a foam gasket. It's water resistant, but be careful. Just keep it closed, protected. Over here, we've got a standard lagoon mount. This is great for if you wanted to cook outside, make coffee in the morning, that sort of thing. You'll notice how this is offset. So this is offset for the sole purpose of the lagoon table mount arm. If you don't have this offset of 3/4 of an inch, the arm is going to run into this and you're not going to be able to move and swivel the table. It'll be in a fixed position. So little tip there. Once again, this is a 1/2 inch solid bamboo. We just did a matte clear coat on this, and to get this finished we did about 6 coats of matte clear. I came up here and did about a 2 inch little backsplash for the kitchen. Coming in here, we've got 2 switches. So we've got the front, and then we've got the rear. So 2 LED light areas, front and rear. And then this is the dimming section, so we can dim that. Let's see, next, let's talk about, I'll have you step inside. So right here, we've got the kitchen galley. And so this is a one-off piece. It's one-off because we had a lot of constraints in here. We wanted to have as much opening, but then also have as much space to work. They definitely like to make coffee, and we wanted to have as much prep area as possible. And not only that, instead of sleeping east to west, we're doing a north-south configuration. So this panel right here is as forward as it is, more forward than typical. Yeah, so kitchen galley, we got a Ravati sink. We got a nice faucet right here. Whenever you're in your adventure van, I always tell everyone to put like a washcloth or something like that, because you will have some drips out of here. There's really no faucet that's not going to have some residual water, so just kind of keep that in mind. The power for the water pump we cut and put a switch right here. So check this out. This thing is awesome. So it's very convenient. You're always going to want to make sure that your water is, you can see the blue light. So that means your water is, okay, just pull away. And you just want to make a habit of, turn my glasses off here. You just want to make the habit of turning the water pump off a habit. So that, one, your water pump is not staying primed the whole entire time, or it's on. If you're doing a DIY and you're doing your own plumbing, if you get into the situation where you're doing your own plumbing and there may be a leak, as long as your water pump is off and you're out of the van, that's a good safe thing to have. However, if you kept the water pump on, you forgot and left your van and you had that leak, might not be so good. So just good habit to turn the water pump off when you're not using it. Okay, next let's talk about the kitchen galley. I really like this. I designed this to be open enough so that you could get in, but also wide enough so that you could actually, have some good working space. Like I said earlier, the bed is a north to south sleeping arrangement, so it does minimize how much kitchen galley you can build. So to make this better, really try to consolidate the drawers as far as having a lot of drawers, but also really tight tolerances. So you can see here we've only got an inch gap between each of the drawers. All these drawers are Rockler drawer slides. It's like the Blum brand, but Rockler makes them. I really like them. Not only are they undermount, but they're also soft close as well. Now that's kind of, soft close and slam latch technically don't go together, but if you do them, I still think it's a good option, because when you close the drawer doesn't slam, but having the slam latch gives you that positive locking ability, so that the drawer doesn't come out when you're driving. So you can kind of come in and then positively latch the drawer. Each one of these is I really dialed in the drawer setting, so you can see there's no movement or rattling. It's just a very positive connection. And John and Susan have actually taken this for I think 2 trips now, and everything's been great. No rattles, no drawers popping out. Plus, these slam latches, the reason we did them, not only I like them because they positively shut, but you'll notice there's no knob sticking out. So one request that they had was that there was nothing to, catch on your pant leg or, hit your knee or something like that. So these are all flush, nice and clean. I did add a little lip here, and this just gives you a sense of depth to the kitchen galley, since we are working in such a tight space. If we zoom back out, we're going to check out this. So I went with a bamboo door because I needed something that was very rigid, but also not a lot of depth. On Thomas's van, I did a double half-inch ply to make the door strong. This one, I didn't have the room. I wanted to give a area for them to have some, cleaning supplies, paper towel, maybe this little area to put some stuff. We do have a 6-gallon gray water tank. This can fit 2. They just want to do 1 right now, just easier to maintain, taking 1 in and out at a time. Behind here, we've got a water drop water filter for the cold side, and it's right behind there. See if you can see that back there. Yep. And then we also have 2 disconnects for the water as well. We have a hot and a cold. And that's just in case if something happens to this, say you goof and this, is outside the door and I don't know, you rip it off or something. You can shut the valves off, and then you can use the rear shower faucet if you're in that situation. Over here with this little red box, we've got the hot water control. So when the inverter is on, you just flip this switch up. Your hot water is going to be ready in about 15 minutes, and we're using a 4-gallon Bosch. It's a little mini residential hot water heater. They're great, easy to find. You can pick them up at Lowe's. A.O. Smith brand also makes them as well. That's the one that's in Thomas's van. Let's move over here to the right-hand side. This is the star of the show. This is the fridge stack. So when we were speccing out the van for these guys, there was a couple of requests they wanted to have, and one was that the fridge was not on the floor, it was up. So what I did was I just kind of took all the measurements of stuff that we were using and did a kind of reverse engineering on where the heights needed to be. So for my curvature of the van and everything, this was the height that we went with for the microwave. It's 24 inches wide. This is a Rec Pro, and it's a convection microwave. We were thinking about going with more a power-friendly microwave. Takes a little bit longer to cook, but we just went ahead and said, hey, we've already got this width. Let's just go with the convection. So they're going to be able to cook a lot of stuff in here. We've got the Isotherm Cruise 130 fridge. Amazing fridge. Tons of room. You've got a little freezer box as well. Always make sure that you have a thermometer. You never know what's happening in your van, and if you have food in here, you need to have something that makes sure that something hasn't happened with your electrical system and the fridge has gone off and the food's possibly spoiled. So get a thermometer for your fridge. Other than that, this Isotherm Cruise 130, it's awesome. Uses extremely low power, very efficient, and the stainless steel, again, just looks really cool. And then down here at the bottom, we have one more drawer. And when you're designing drawers in your van, if you're doing DIY, make sure that all your drawers are not too deep to where you can't remove them to either clean them out or go underneath here and access the electrical. I've designed this drawer, it's low, so I can pull this out and I can go in and do any type of electrical maintenance on the system inside here. You probably won't be able to see any wires, but let me take the camera in there. So let's see here. So back here in the bottom, we have, let's see if you guys can see any of that. So we got all of our wires cable managed, nice and neat. And we do have some room for modifications and stuff like that in the future if we want to change anything. But again, access for your stuff. So we're going to move from the fridge stack, and we're going to move over here to this area. So what I just did off camera was I reset the driver's seat to the swivel position. On a Ford Transit, you do have to open the door to swivel the seat around. It's just a little quirk about a Ford Transit. So we got this, so we got it moved all the way back, and we went to, we really wanted to maximize the space between these two areas so that they could actually sit down and have some breakfast in the morning, drink some coffee. So we got a Lagoon table mount, and then what we also did is this table, we actually, this is one, I didn't make this one, but we got this off of Etsy. It's a really, really nice quality table. These leaves fold out, and that just allows you to just really, maximize the area to have two plates and actually have a space to eat. But if you don't need the space, you can pull something back and then have a little bit more room. It's, you got different options. So we got a Lagoon table mount here, and then we also have one on the passenger side. All right, so now that we got this out of the way, let's check out this. This is their jump seat that I built. This allows someone to sit here, hang out. You can have, 3 people comfortably seated. Underneath here is their Trulino. And so this is the, we get the lid taken off, but this is their toilet. This is the medium size, if you guys are wondering. So it's the medium size as far as depth and width, and you guys can look up those specs online. There's a lot of storage space in here, as you saw, for toilet paper, cleaning supplies, stuff like that. But yeah, this is just, gotten good feedback as far as they love using this space, and as far as how big it is, they're really happy with how much room they have to actually, their feet are kind of not completely in the way. We decided not to do a window here just because this space is very tight, and right here is where the Ford Transit body is. So, you know, unless you're going with an Arctic turn style window and doing a lot of modifications, we kind of forgo the window. Up here we have these lights throughout the van. We've got 3 of them. They're really nice. So they have different settings. They have a USB port under here for charging. And then at nighttime, this is something they really enjoy, is that you can leave this on at nighttime if you need to use the restroom. And this just keeps this place lit. Red light. It's really nice at night. It's not kind of in your face. So they just kind of leave that on. It's really nice. We wrapped all the Ford blobs, and you guys can kind of see the beginning of this cedar ceiling. So it's 1/4 inch cedar. It's a knotty cedar. Got some nice character to it. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this right here. This is the bed. Below the bed we have access to our garage. So they have dogs in the van, and one thing they wanted to do is make sure that the 2 areas were separate, gear storage versus where the dogs, so that they wouldn't you know, kind of come and go. So this door shuts, seals off that area. It's also for conditioning the space. So if you have that secluded, you're only conditioning with the air conditioner, the heater, the bed area and this area, and not the garage area. This bed is a queen, so full-size queen. And on the sides, since we're doing north to south, we got about 6 inches of storage space on the sides of the bed, both on the driver and passenger side. Again, north to south, so they're going to sleep like this and hop in and out of the bed right here. I removed this because it's more comfortable. They do have a stool, by the way, so that's how they're getting in here. They're not they're not jumping in and out every night. This relief right here is really nice because when you're getting into the bed, you don't want to hit this hard wood. It's just not comfortable. So rounded edges, keep this open. The queen size, we added L-track on the left side for a bunch of hanging bags and gear, kind of pretty much whatever they want. We get the CRL AWD 1033 awning style windows. Got that on the passenger, and then we also have on the driver's side. And so while you're there, let me show you this. This is the overhead storage, and this is a one-off piece as well. So I built this because we needed such a custom design. We needed to be able to have these boxes right here, have 5 of them, and a specific dimension, so this is what we went with. We're just going to go with bungee cords to hold this in, but I designed it in a way to where this actually locks into place. So when you do that, unless you lift the basket, you can't get it out due to the height. So it goes almost right up to the top, as you can see, and then you can see down here we got a minimal gap, so it actually has to come out and over to come out. So they're secure. They haven't had any issues with their 2 trips they've taken. Right here we've got a Max fan. This is a 7500K, so it's the top of the line one that's got your auto open at 78 degrees. It's got a wireless remote. It's really nice, and it is the dark smoke tint. Back here we have the Nomadic 48 volt X2 rooftop AC. And again, yes, it's 48 volts. We're going to talk about that when we get to the Ecoflow power system. It's incredible. It starts up very quickly. Cools down the van, very nice. And speaking of cooling, we have Havelock wool throughout the whole entire van, the whole entire ceiling, all the walls, pretty much anywhere we could stuff it. And over there you can see we did 4-way stretch carpet wrapping all the pillars in the rear, just to really clean it up. The passenger has a reading light with a USB outlet, and on the driver's side we have a light with the USB outlet. It's the same one with the white light and the red light combo. We're going to come over here, and this is one thing I forgot to show you guys. We have a storage shelf, bamboo storage shelf that I built, really nice, and it actually bolts into some riv nuts that I put in the van. But this is another customer request for some more storage, you know, as much storage as you can get in a van. Before we swing around back to look at the power, we have one more outlet right here. So this is a pop-up outlet. Again, same thing, 2 household plugs, 2 USB. USB is only on when the inverter's on. These USB lights are always on. So you just push this button, push it down, and it's nice. You know, keeps this from, in case you had accidental spill, it's covered. All right, guys, it's time to hit the back of the van and check out the Ecoflow power system. A lot of people have been asking me about this online, and so I'm going to cover a couple of those questions that you had and go over some features. So we'll do the quick things first. This is behind here we have that Bosch 4-gallon hot water tank. In the middle here we have the Northwest Conversions 36-gallon water over the wheel well water tank. We've got a little window here, and hold the camera right there. I'm going to turn the water pump on. So you guys can see when the water pump is on. We've got a backlight to indicate where the water level is in here, so I can see that it's about right there where my finger is. Easy way to not have to wire in a gauge, and it's hard to see on camera, but trust me, you can see a difference in the water line. This is an emergency switch, so if you're back here and you're washing the dogs down or doing something, have an outdoor shower, and say you walk away and I don't know, you break the water line and there's water going everywhere, you can just quickly go here, turn the button off, disconnect the power to the water pump. Just a nice safety feature. The way this circuit's wired, you'll always need to have this rear button pushed in to complete the circuit, but stay right there. Now when I press the sync button, the light goes off. So the first switch on the sink is the main, is the master, and this would be the second one to where you can auto disconnect it to be safe. Both of these are the Aqua system. This is a very high-end water connection system. It's usually for very high-end homes. We're using it in a van because it is a simple push and twist connect. When you twist out, it has a gasket, a double gasket, so it seals so you don't get any drips. So this is the city water fill port here. This is the washdown port here. We have a Scandivic mixing valve. So you've got off, on, and then you twist for hot and cold. Very clean, very minimal design, like it. We went 2 pieces of L-track, and what we've done is I've set the spacing to where in the future, if they want to buy a flatline Vanco pull-out drawer slide like we have in the Glacier build, all they have to do is bring back to me. We have 4 mounts that we install, and then we put the tray into these. And then you got these, little L-track things you can put around, wherever you want to need them. On our builds, we always bolt the L-track through the chassis. So it's not, even though it's screwed into the floor, each rail has 2 bolts through the chassis to really make sure that we do it right. It's very strong. All right, so inside the van, we have the 5 kilowatt hour Ecoflow battery. This is going to be equivalent to a little over 400 amp hours of lithium iron phosphate. So 4 car-sized batteries, and they put it in a really nice footprint of just 1 battery. Now, it's not a 12-volt system, it's a 48-volt system. And the 48-volt system, it's all enclosed, so you don't have to worry about messing with 48 voltage. The power hub over here, This is where it's going to change everything for you. And we're going to talk about this shore power here in a second. But keep an eye on the Ecoflow. So the power hub is going to take care of doing all your power inversion. So it's going to have the inverter for 110. It's going to have your converter for 12 volt. It's also going to have your shore power conversion for when you're charging up a shore power. It's going to auto switch all of that. You have independent on and off for your AC, your alternating current circuits, as well as your DC circuits. So if you want to have your DC and AC off, you can just toggle both switches. When you leave the van, come back in, turn them both on. We have I haven't seen this, so I guess I could call it like a unique setup. I have the first alternator input populated, and then I went ahead and went with a second alternator input. Now this is not a second engine alternator. There's only one alternator in this van, but by combining this first one and this second one, they're independently fused under the driver's seat. But we have 60 amps plus 30 amps. So when they drive, they have a total of 90 amps to charge this system while they're driving, plus whatever solar we have. We have 580 watts of solar. So we've done a couple test drives. This thing's awesome. It went from 85% to 100% in probably 8-10 minute drive around the block, full sun. So very efficient system. The third one, that is our solar input for our 580 watts of solar. Up top, we've got Rich Solar, and we have the Unaka and Explorers.life collaboration roof rack from Unaka. And then we have the solar panels that are recommended from Explorers.life to complete the kit, and that's what we're using for our roof rack and solar panels. We talked about the Nomadic AC 48 volt rooftop air conditioner. This first one is the battery cable. The second one is actually directly connected to the Nomadic Cooling 48 volt rooftop AC. So this is a direct one-to-one with the battery. And when you turn the Ecoflow system on, it's automatically going to turn on the Nomadic Cooling. It is fused up in the ceiling. You can't access it through the vent, but the fuse in the ceiling is how this circuit is fused. So there's no fuse here between this cable. The fuse is in the ceiling right before the positive connection going into the pneumatic. Last but not least, you have the shore power. So we're going to we'll hop around here and show you the shore power in a second. The back two cables back here that you can kind of barely see, that is your power for your smart distribution panel. So this one and this one provide your AC and DC circuit power to this box. So we're going to open this up. Okay, and what I love about Ecoflow, everything is just so clean. We've got our AC circuits here. So we've got both of our outlets, and I've wired them to receive, these are 30 amp circuits. So these first two, so the outside outlet, the inside outlet, we have our microwave, and we have our hot water heater. So this is super clean. Again, you can toggle these on and off or just keep them on. And then over here we have our DC circuits. And so there's all the DC circuits in the van, all appropriately fused. And again, Ecoflow again is just very, very clean, streamlined system. We have two garage lights. That's something that John requested, and they work really well. He really likes them. Before we check out the shore power, let's talk about the bed system. So what I did is I installed the IKEA bed rail system. So essentially one of these comes with an IKEA bed, and you can actually buy all the brackets and runners online. So you get the brackets off of Amazon, and then you go into the IKEA store and you can buy these adjustable bed rails. Now, one rail supports 2 adults. We have 5, so we're not worried about strength or anything like that. What we like is if they want to take the bed panels out, this is 2 panels. They are removable, The rails are also removable, so you can reclaim your van and actually use it to haul some stuff if you have some bigger things that you need to move. Yeah, let's back out. We're going to talk about the rear of the van. Let's talk about the shore power. So over here, we've got our Furrion 30 amp shore power plug. So stay right here. So a recommendation to any van lifers out there, get a plug that converts your 30 amp to a 15 amp plug, but then also buy the one, now this is expensive, but buy the one that has this built-in surge protector and circuit analyzer. It looks like a lot, but it's going to save you a lot. You can plug this into an RV park, campground, and you can test their circuit before you actually plug this into your van. So if they have bad ground or bad voltage, or simply they wired the circuit incorrectly, you'll know before you actually hook it up to your van. So this is just going to plug right into here, and then you just spin this to lock it on, and then the blue light will come on. Blue light will come on, and you'll be ready to go and charging. Outside the van, nice and clean. The Nomadic roof rack is it's a great install. We've got a video on that. Very nice, easy going, very low profile. Awning windows on the outside. There's that running board for the driver's side. Now the back of the van, we didn't do any windows. Really focused on maximizing the insulation in this van. So we just these are AVC rig panels that you can upholster. So we bought the panels, we upholstered them in the shop. We used Marathon heather gray fabric. Heather gray is the color, or gray heather. Yep, so we did that to both sides.
And throughout the van, right?
Yeah, and throughout the whole entire van. So all the van panels inside the van are the AVC rig. It's essentially underlayment, it's 1/4 inch, and they CNC cut it out, and then we at the shop will wrap the panels in whatever fabric you like, whatever color. All right, we're gonna shut the door, and oh yeah, that's what I want to talk about. This is part of the AVC rig trim. So again, it's just a really nice way to clean up the rear of your van. I even go to the lengths of finding these little caps so that you guys can still access your spare tire from Ford. And got a little cap, clean up that so it doesn't even look like it's not even there. And yeah, let's see, we'll shut the doors here, give you guys one more view. You can see how the light's pretty good right now. This is the last thing I wanted to show you. This is the rear view camera from Wolfbox. So up here, that's the Ford factory camera. So that is what you saw on the Dynavan. That's where the Dynavan feed's coming from. This is where the Wolfbox feed is coming from down here. So you got 2 cameras, and all-wheel drive van, and finishing off with the Odyssey Custom Vans sticker. And guys, that is going to do it for this van tour. If you have any questions on John and Susan's van, whether the stuff that we used in the van, any type of products or something like that, put those in the comments. I'd love to answer those questions. If you're interested in getting your own custom van conversion by me, Odyssey Custom Vans, I'd love to hear from you. You can go to odysseycustomvans.com, scroll down, click on the appointment link. You can pull up my calendar, find a date and time that's most convenient for you, and we can hop on a phone consultation and talk about your own adventure van build. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that van tour of John and Susan's build. If you're doing your own DIY van build, then I have something that is really, I think you'll find very helpful. It's called our DIY van build cheat sheet. So over the last 3 years of doing this van business, I have all of my Amazon purchases, I have taken them and put them into an Excel sheet organized it from anything from electrical, fittings, brackets, screws, anything I do with 80/20, water pumps, solar panels, a lot of the Renogy components that I use. And I've taken all that, I've organized it, and I've put it into this sheet. And guess what? It is completely free, and it is for you guys. So you can download this list of over 250 curated items completely free. All you have to do is go to vanbuilderhq.com, or you can click in the link in the description below. You're just gonna put your name and email address in, click download. It's gonna go right to your inbox, and I really think it's gonna help you out. Once again, it's called the DIY Van Build Cheat Sheet, and I think it's gonna be great. Check it out. If you guys have any other questions, put those in the comments below. Other than that, we'll see you guys in the next video. All right, guys, that is gonna do it for this van tour. Really enjoyed this one. Oh, the paint color. I need to put that in the description. This paint color is awesome. It worked out really well in this build. But yeah. All right, guys, that is gonna do it for this tour. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.